You are now ready to begin Detroit. Remember, this is not just a story. This is our future.
Released May 25th, 2018, developed by Quantic Dream and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, Detroit Become Human has been on my radar since then. Then lo and behold, I got it on sale. I think it was the State of Play sale. I got it at a great price, below $10 if memory serves me correctly. But then Sony had to piss me off by adding it to PS Plus games lineup like a month later. Look, I'm no sports fan, but PES 2019 would have sat a whole lot much better with me at this point.
Everything will be fine!
Anyway, Detroit Become Human is one of those heavily story and character driven games that Quantic Dream is known for. Similar to Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and even supermassive games Until Dawn.
You steal our jobs, but you can't even stand up!
In Detroit Become Human, we live in a future where androids are commonplace. Androids look identical to humans and are able to do the jobs of humans more efficiently. This of course creates a divide between both.
This thing is not your son. It's a fucking machine!
Like it's the new version of racism. Maybe we could label it Racism 2.0. So of course, for any gamer or person watching this review or who have played this game and was born anytime before the year 2000, you'll come to the quick realization of how much of a cliche this story is. It's not a bad story, however, but pretty predictable.
Leave it alone.
Let us teach this bastard a lesson.
You damage it, I'm gonna have to find you.
We're gonna take your job next. See how you like it.
A view I've always held about video games, which still stands today. You can take a done-to-death story, a weak B-movie style story, even throw in some good old B-movie acting, and it can still work in a video game. It may not fly with a novel or a movie, but the added immersive level of interactivity that video games offer will always give us that needed edge, where storytelling and delivery are concerned.
Why?
You know why.
So the story gets a pass because of how well it was executed. You play through the lives, for lack of a better word, of these three androids. All with a common interest, a common goal, to figure out what more there is to an android's life, other than kissing human ass and living to serve as a slave. This is another thing about the story of Detroit Become Human. I don't know about others, but I got several different meanings and interpretations of the struggles depicted here. They weren't just talking about robots and the future. And no, I'm not relegating this whole experience to racism either. I got a lot more from it.
That's exactly what we want.
Of course.
The visuals here are beautiful. Environments, character models, facial expressions, and although they still have that CG mannequin look to them, are a whole lot more palatable here.
I understand.
I have to say this regarding the character models. Aside from the fact that these characters look almost identical to their real-life counterparts, Rose has to be the most beautifully designed video game character I've ever seen.
I just try to lend a helping hand when I can.
The audio is what I've come to expect from Quantic Dream. With an experience so heavily dependent on story and character, nothing less than A-list acting would have been acceptable.
Yeah, no one gives a damn.
With legendary talents such as the great Lance Henriksen, Clancy Brown, and Jesse Williams, we were treated to acting greatness. Not one single character, in my opinion, dropped the ball.
Alright, that makes sense.
Detroit Become Human also serves as a great change of pace for players like me. If sticking to one genre is your thing, and that genre happens to be walking simulators, games like What Remains of Edith Finch, Everyone Is Gone to the Rapture, and games like those, then this wouldn't be much of a change. But for someone like myself who plays almost everything, to have a change of pace from the hoorah and the cover me I'm reloading vibe is welcomed. I believe in pacing myself in all I do, and video games are no different. To play a game like Detroit Become Human, where there's much greater emphasis on the story and what happens to your character next, with questions popping up in your head like, do I really agree with the character's approach, decision, and so on, this kind of takes the tempo down for me. And there are times when I'm not in the mood for high intensity, but I don't really want to watch a movie either. Detroit Become Human fills that need.
I know you'll be happy.
This brings me to the difficulty level. Detroit Become Human being the game it is, Where there's more emphasis on choice and quick time events, a forgiving difficulty system is a given. For persons with any appreciable amount of experience in gaming, quick time events offers very little challenge. I've read where this game is supposed to be like 20 hours long. I've always wondered how exactly these durations are calculated. Is it that devs base this on the game being on the easiest level on a perfect playthrough, like without dying? Is it based on the hardest difficulty without dying? I never really got this. A video game isn't a sit and watch it till the end experience like a movie, so obviously different people will have different results. Much different results. Are the durations of games based on playing all the side quests? I may never get an answer to this age-old question.
Yeah, well, you can kiss my ass.
Anyway, the game is easy and short, and certainly did not feel like 20 hours. But if I did play this for 20 hours, then it was 20 hours well spent.
Okay.
I'm going to have to say, where replayability is concerned, although not my cup of tea, as I'm more the one and done kind of player, the replayability is strong in this one. Should you be the type of player who frequently revisits their games, then this game is for you. I have to admit, after playing it through, I was, and I still am a bit curious to see what would happen should I have made different choices. Who would have lived to see the end credits?
You know I love you, don't you? You know I love you.
Now, some of the less than stellar things about Detroit Become Human that I experienced, nothing to whine about or deduct points, so to speak. It's an incredibly linear experience. It's almost impossible to lose your way, as invisible walls will ensure you stay on track. The puzzles aren't really puzzles, just relatively simple common sense choices, similar to that game Murdered Soul Suspect. You have to investigate crime scenes. This, although my least favorite parts of any game like this, including the private eye shit in Arkham games, was not a hindrance though. It wasn't annoying to the point where I'd say, not this shit again. They were fairly simple and kinda held your hands the entire way through. There really isn't anything wrong with this game. Should you be a player who prefers the frenetic rush of action titles like COD and Gears of War and games like those, should you prefer sports games, then you see something wrong with Detroit Become Human. What that wrong would be is simply this: Detroit Become Human is wrong for you. It's not a flawed game in any way, it's just not for you. But for everyone else, who's not bothered by a slower pace, a game that can and probably will tug at your heartstrings through its masterfully told story, its engaging characters and overall immersion, Detroit Become Human is the game for you. And easily my game of the year, although released long ago.
Oh, I see. No problem.
As usual, it's my review but your decision. No meters, no numbers, just some good old-fashioned honest opinions. If you like my content, feel free to subscribe, like, leave a comment and share this video. Hit the notification bell. But if I pissed you off, then democracy is still alive and well. Hit those dislike and unsubscribe buttons faster than you can say Detroit Become Human. Either way, thanks for watching. Thanks for playing, because our game is never over.
I'll never forget what you've done for me.